Let's talk about the opposite side of the ball. Jordan Love. You mentioned him. Let's talk about him. Because if you're a Packers fan and what's happened over the last couple of weeks with Jordan Love and the injury, and he played today, but was it completely healthy? Who knows? I don't think he was.
He wasn't. No way.
But are you worried about him?
Yeah, I am. Obviously, we said last year he looked great. We love Jordan Love. But we said when we were analyzing him and talking about him going forward, we got to see what he looks like after the first. Same with C.J. Stroud, and he's regressed a little this year. You could talk about how much is his fault, how much is that offensive line. That's fair. Same with Jordan Love. I'm worried about Jordan Love for two reasons. One, let's separate the play and let's separate the injuries, because those are the two things. We'll talk about the play in a second. He does seem to be leaning on becoming injury prone. He's been dealing with a lot of injuries. First off, he had injuries before he was even a starter. And now this year he got hurt in that first game in Brazil, I believe it was. And then he went out of another game, came back, and then he had this groin injury where you didn't know if he was going to start, and he started, and it looked rough. I mean, he was just flat out bad in this game up until mid-third quarter. Then he started to look okay. Like mid-third quarter onward, he started to look decent, but he missed a lot of just easy throws. Like he missed a lot of throws he should have made. There were plays to be made. The Packers could have been in this game, but he just wasn't able to capitalize on it. And then the throws he did capitalize on, the receivers dropped the ball, but literally and metaphorically. So aside from the injuries, the other thing for me is just mechanics. He has that thing that he's clearly learned from Rodgers where he throws off his back foot a ton. And there was one play, I can't remember what quarter it was. I feel like it was the third quarter maybe. He was throwing and had a touchdown, like had an open touchdown pass. And he didn't have any pressure. He'd roll out to the right. And instead of just setting his feet and delivering a touchdown to get them in the ball game, he slings it falling backwards off his back foot. He does that all of the time. And he's so talented and he has a good arm that a lot of the times he can overcome it. But then you get in a game like this, and I just want to scream, like, man, you're costing your team points. Set your feet and deliver the football. You kind of saw this with Mahomes early in his career, although maybe not quite to this degree, where he wouldn't deliver with good mechanics, deliver with good footwork. Finally, they got that kind of drilled into him. They need to do the same with Jordan Love because his explosive ability is fantastic, but you cannot keep having this just throwing off your back foot while you're falling backwards because it takes you out of ball games. If he would have stood and delivered the ball right where it needed to be, and I know the injury was an issue, so I'm cutting him a little slack, but the whole mechanic thing is not specific to this game. It's specific to his entire career. It has to get cleaned up. It has to.
When he's able to set his feet, make a good throw.
It's not able. He just refuses to.
When he is in the position, when he thinks about it, when he brings it back from memory to actually set his feet, make the throw, he can throw dimes. Him and Jaden Reed, their connection is undeniable. It is a great quarterback receiver duo in the NFL when it's clicking, right? But when it's not, it's really not. That's the problem. With them having a bye week next week, I wasn't even a big fan of them playing Jordan Love this week. I thought they could have made do with Malik this week, and because Malik got them 2 wins, by the way. The 2 games he started, they won. So I think he could have managed. They could have managed Josh Jacobs on the ground more. He came out swinging, early in the game, first quarter. Josh Jacobs was getting the ball left and right, and they were moving the ball.
Right, he was their offense.
Right. And then they got behind and the interception, everything, and that just kind of threw things off.
Well, yeah, the interception right before the half, the pick six, that was really where the game swung. Because up until then, they were in it, and then they tried to claw back in it, and they just couldn't, and there were just too many mistakes, not just on Jordan Love. To the messiness point, I put this in here, I meant to mention it. This is his 7th straight regular season game with an interception. It's the longest streak by a Green Bay quarterback since Brett Favre in 2006.
Ooh, that's rough.
So, I mean, this is an issue. Everyone knows it. Matt LaFleur knows it. Jordan Love knows it. I agree with you about, by the way, it might have been
Jordan
better.
Love knowing?
He knows it. He just gets sloppy because he knows he has a good arm. He knows that it's talent. And he sat behind Aaron Rodgers and watched him do it. But here's the thing, too, to your point about benching him. I agree. I think if it wasn't for the fact that this game was literally for first place in the NFC North, if the Packers won this game, they are in first place in the North. So I think they got a little greedy, little desperate, and started Love when he probably wasn't ready because he did not look 100% out there.
So let's real quick just recap the Green Bay remainder of the season after their bye. So week 10 bye, they come back to play the Bears at Chicago, the 49ers, the Dolphins, who almost won against the Bills. We'll talk about that later. They played the Lions again, another divisional matchup. Then they played the Seahawks, the Saints, the Vikings, and then also the Bears, again, another divisional matchup.
It's not an easy schedule.
It's not, right? So that's my concern. It's like, are we going to see after this bye week, are we going to see Jordan Love come out and kind of have his crap together and make successful, on the money throws, set his feet and everything? Or are we going to continue to see that flustered type of, almost rookie-like mentality shine through Jordan Love the remainder of the season?
I think we're going to continue to see what we've seen. And I picked Green Bay to make it to the Super Bowl to represent the NFC. I was high on them this year. I still believe in Jordan Love. I still believe in the team. It's just becoming clearer to me week by week. They're just still too young. They're just still, because they have, I think, the most young players of any team, or the youngest team of anybody. They're just not there. Because even put the Jordan Love mistakes and issues aside, because he does make big plays for you too, they're just inconsistent in other spots of the team too. They drop balls, or they make turnovers, they commit penalties, they don't capitalize on opportunities. They're just kind of messy. That's the best word for it. And it feels like they're maybe another year or two from cleaning all that up. So I think Green Bay kind of continues to look like this. I think this is who they are. They can beat anybody on any given Sunday. They 100% can. If they have everything together and play a perfect game, they can beat anybody. But more likely than not, they're going to make mistakes and give their opponent a chance to win.